Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. As this is my Formula 1 Las Vegas review, and I will be doing my Qatar 3 preview as well. And of course, the Las Vegas 3 did take place earlier this morning, a very early one, 6 o'clock in the morning in terms of UK. Where we did see Max Verstappen officially crowned 4-time world champion. I've already sent Max Verstappen, Martin congratulations, obviously back in Brazil, because that's where race he did win it, which was in Brazil. So, but it was his official confirmation this Grand Prix that he did win it, and well deserved. I think it's well deserved in my opinion. Lando Norris just wasn't good enough, was he? Just wasn't good enough to really properly put the challenge on Max Verstappen. Even though we had a bit of, it looks like we did gonna have a title challenge midway through the season. But even midway through the season, I even told people it's still a bit dark. And Max Verstappen, near the end of the season, I did say to people, he's not had one good race, and that was in Brazil, and that ruled everything out. And that ruled everything out for me. And there's don't be Max Verstappen haters all bitter about it, but he has won 3 of the titles with not having a Twitter star. This season, not had a Twitter star. 2021 didn't have the Twitter star, and 2022 didn't have the Twitter star. 2023 was the only season where Max Verstappen was actually dominant. He had the most dominant car. Apart from that, he didn't have a dominant car. So that's something for the Max Verstappen haters to suck up on, in my opinion, Pauls. And one of his best title wins for me. I think it is one of his best title wins. As much, I think the title race was probably overhyped and overrated for me, just because of the gap. But you just never know. You just never knew, did you? Max Verstappen, at the end of the day, I actually think he's tried that car to win the Drivers' Championship in these remaining races. Without Max Verstappen, Lando Norris is champion. Simple as that. It's only Max Verstappen who can win a title like that, in my opinion. I actually don't think Lewis Hamilton would win the title because he would just constantly start mourning on the car about the car as well. I know Verstappen has been mourning, but he's still done with it, hasn't he? And tried that car. And but yeah, well deserved. It's well deserved, and I don't have any hatred towards Verstappen. Obviously, I'm not happy Norris didn't win it. Obviously, you saw me in my watch zones. I was more cheering for Lando Norris because I want a Prix driver to win it. Well, a Prix driver to win it. That's not Lewis Hamilton because I don't really like Lewis Hamilton in terms of off the track. And but he just wasn't done enough, Norris. But I do believe next season has to be the season for Lando Norris for me. Because I think Red Bull don't be unknown next season. I don't know if Max Verstappen's going to have the car for next season to at least challenge for the title. Because there's still a lot of question marks at Red Bull. A lot of question marks at Red Bull still. How are they going to cope without Adrian Newey next season? The first season without Adrian Newey. What's happened with Sergio Perez? Is he keeping his seat? I believe Perez is not keeping his seat. I do believe it's still between the 3 drivers of Tsunoda, Lawson and Pinto. We saw Tsunoda kind of put a statement in, didn't he? A statement for that Red Bull seat, as he did finish above Perez and in the points as well, Tsunoda. But I feel Tsunoda at Red Bull will just be an absolute heartwatt between him and Verstappen. Because Tsunoda will fight his teammate. He'll fight his teammate. He'll want to be number 1, Tsunoda. I just think it's too toxic for the team as well. And Tsunoda does suffer with a full DNS as well, which will cost Red Bull a lot of downsides, having to pay for his downsides as well. I don't think any of the drivers have done enough for Red Bull. I honestly don't. But if they were done for someone, I actually think it would be Lawson. I think Mark Webber still has that liaison with Red Bull as well. I actually think in the future we could see Oscar Piastri into Red Bull as well. I wouldn't be shocked if he tries Red Bull if Verstappen does leave. If Verstappen leaves Red Bull, I think Red Bull get Piastri, in my opinion. But there's not a question mark for Red Bull still for the next coming years. How do they do their own engines as well? And IBE Red Bull will not be chancing next season. I don't think Red Bull will be chancing next season. I don't think Verstappen will be chancing. I just don't think Verstappen will have the car for next season to chance. But it's an interesting year next year because a few teams will be preparing for the 2026 regulations. I actually feel Red Bull might actually sit next year out. Obviously not be removed from the championships, but that's why I'm saying Red Bull might not challenge, because I feel they'll look at themselves and think to themselves, do we have that? It's a bit like Man City in the Premier League. It's a bit like Man City in the Premier League at the moment, where that urgency might be done to try and do 5 championships in the war, to try and win how many constructors now? Well, they've won it 3 times in the war, haven't they? No, actually, they've won it twice in the war. So they've only won it back to back, Red Bull, in terms of the 2020 decade. So I actually think they might prepare for 2026, to be honest with you, Red Bull. I think they might accept that they're not going to challenge next year. Which is why I think it could be an all one-way traffic win for McLaren next year. Because we don't know what Mercedes are going to do now Lewis Hamilton's done. But I think Mercedes are going to have that budget now, aren't they? They don't have that budget to develop the car now Lewis Hamilton's done. Because all that budget was spent on Lewis Hamilton's bank account. And he's going to take a lot of Ferrari's budget up, in my opinion. So maybe look out for Mercedes next year as well, potentially. And I think Mercedes will prepare for 2026 regulations as well. But maybe look out for them next year as well. I think, I honestly believe it's one-way traffic for McLaren next year. In terms of the drivers and constructors, I really do believe that. I know it's early to say that, but I still feel McLaren doesn't develop the car even further. As much as they did struggle this morning in the Qualifying 3. They just simply didn't have the pace for the whole weekend for Las Vegas. Mercedes deservedly won the Qualifying 3. They had the pace for this weekend, especially in practice as well. If Lewis Hamilton didn't make a mistake in qualifying, he would be on the front row as well. So a great try from Hamilton. As much I have been criticising some of his achievements, and I do criticise Hamilton for his constant mourning, I still think he would have been mourning after the race as well, that he made a mistake, but he PM'd it on the car. He doesn't PM it on himself. I think he chose that from Russell, because Russell was eating, his tyres were eating up, and Mercedes do well in the cool conditions as well. So it was quite cool in Las Vegas as well, which is probably why they did probably dominate the Qualifying 3, in my opinion. I mean, Ferrari were up there for a couple of laps to try and challenge Russell, but then they dropped off as well. It's kind of been a good weekend for Ferrari, but I still think it's been a missed opportunity for Ferrari to rapidly close that gap on McLaren in the constructors. So it's kind of been a good weekend for Ferrari, because they still have closed the gap on McLaren, but they could have closed it down by more if they would have had maybe a podium, both of them on the podium, or both of them as the 1-2 as well. But well-deserved winner, George Russell. Great try from him. He cut out the danger straight away on the opening lap. And Prix he went away, didn't he? And Hamilton, great try from him from 10th to 2nd as well. So the weekend belongs to Mercedes for me. And it'd be interesting to see Mercedes in the last 2 races as well. Will they continue that momentum for the final 2 races as well? I think in Qatar, in recent years, have done well in Qatar, so maybe look out for that as well. And Hulkenberg dotting the points for Haas, so good points for them in their battle with Vries Haas RB in that battle for 6th. And Perez still dotting the points as well after bad qualifying. Is it enough to keep his seat? Probably not, in my opinion. But we saw Alonso, Magnussen, Zhou Guanyu, Pinto, Stroll, Lawson, and Ocon and Bottas all didn't store points, while Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly all retired from the race. Which means the driver stands like this. Obviously, there's no more drivers' championship battle. Max Verstappen is now crowned champion with 2 races to spare. 63-point down under Lando Norris. Lando Norris needs to be careful now because Lando Norris will now be looking over his shoulder at Charles Leclerc. It's all about the battle for 2nd now in the drivers between Norris and Charles Leclerc. Piastri looking over his shoulders at Carlos Sainz in the battle for 4th. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton are pretty safe now in terms of 6th and 7th. Safe from Perez, who's in 8th. Alonso in 9th. Hulkenberg is in 10th. Tsunoda, Gasly, Stroll, Ocon, Magnussen, Albon, Ricciardo, Berman, Pinto, and Lawson are still the only drivers all to store points, while Zhou Guanyu, Bottas, and Lawrence Sargent are still the drivers who are yet to store points. Well, Sargent won't store any points because he's already done, been removed from F1. Will we see Sauber in the final 2 races try and get points on the board? We'll wait and see. In terms of constructors then, and as you see there, McLaren have only got a 24-point lead of Ferrari, so it's still all to play for in terms of the constructors' title, even though this season's probably ending the damn sprint, to be honest with you. Red Bull, they're still mathematically in it, Red Bull, but I think Red Bull are done from it. I think Red Bull are definitely out the constructors just because Perez is not doing enough for the team. So it's between McLaren and Ferrari to win the constructors. And I'm telling you now, McLaren need to win it because if they let Ferrari win the constructors, I think it's quite an embarrassing season for McLaren after having the fastest car on the grid. And you get Ferrari, who were probably expected to be nowhere near the Constructors' Championship just because they're not consistent enough, and you let them win it. Mercedes, they're going to finish in 4th. Aston Martin might look over the shoulders at Haas, potentially in the battle for 5th. Alpine in 7th, so it's still a good battle for 6th, isn't it, between Haas, Alpine, and Vries Haas RB. I think Williams are writing it off now. I think James Vowles already mentioned that he's going to prepare for the 2026 regulations as well. They'll be interesting this season, Williams. They'll be quite interesting team this season with Albon and Sainz. And Sauber, if I'm Sauber, I'll try and develop the car to try and store in the points, especially in the sprint in Qatar and the remaining 2 races in Qatar and Abu Dhabi. Try and get in the points as well, which has been quite a horrific season. And then they're probably another team preparing for 2026 regulations as well. But we do move on to the Qatar Grand Prix then. This is its national circuit where there is 16 turns around the circuit, quite a short circuit. Well, a relatively short circuit. It's in the desert, of course, of Qatar. And obviously it'd be cooler in the night because it would be hot during the day in terms of the circuit. Quite difficult. I think it's quite a relatively difficult circuit to overtake, in my opinion, when you actually want to do dive bombs. But I think the start finish straight is obviously your best opportunity to overtake, as you do that DRS zone that we win open on this down the start finish straight. The UK schedule then for the Qatar Grand Prix, it's not an early morning one, it is back to the UK time, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. for the race start on the Sunday, 1st December. Obviously, Liverpool do play Man City, so I won't be watching it. Qualifying is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Saturday, along with the sprint race, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on the Saturday, just before the actual qualifying. The sprint qualifying takes place on Friday, 29th November. This is the final weekend, the final sprint weekend of the season. 5:30 to 6:15 UK time on Friday, and it all begins with practice 1, 1:30 to 2:30 on the Friday before sprint qualifying. The summary then is it is a hot and twitzy. We'll see tries battling out under floodlights in the penultimate race of the season, and a positive track, non-pit time, difficult conditions could be all dangerous recipe for time and tards, but for an aggressive team principle, this is one of your last chances to do on the attack. To set up then is medium speed tournaments crucial. Focusing on your speed tournaments is also recommended. Favours cars with balanced stats. Tips and tricks then, even as you enter the final stretch of the season, Qatar won't go easy on your cards or drives and proves that the season isn't over yet. The appearance of the safety car is almost down to a coin toss, but the two pit stop strategies dominant holding out for a safety car might save some precious seconds. The final sprint of the year, aggressive driving in Qatar could reward you with some much needed extra points, but pushing too hard may prove risky. The rough surface, twists and turns, and heat will all put pressure on your car and increase the car chance of mechanical failures, even though it might be tempting to avoid replacing any struggling parts this year in the season, trying not to push your luck. So it is a high balance circuit. The circuit then 5.418 metres. First Grand Prix was 2021. Number of laps 57 laps. Race distance of 308.826 metres. Lap record set by Max Verstappen in last year, 124.319. Safety car chance towards 50% and pit end time loss of 54 seconds. These are my predictions then. I done for Oscar Piastri to qualifying pole. He won the sprint race here last year, didn't he? Oscar Piastri, so I think he'll qualifying pole. I think you might see some in the final two races. I think you might see some drivers that have nothing to play for actually be on the podium and win the race, because McLaren seems to be struggling now for pace recently. But I think McLaren might do well in Qatar. I do expect them to bounce back in Qatar, but I think Piastri will win the race. I think Russell and Hamilton, I think they'll continue that momentum from the last race Grand Prix. I think they'll finish on the podium. I think Norris will finish above Verstappen, but I think Verstappen won't care. Verstappen will be sandbagging for the remaining races, in my opinion. I think Norris will finish fourth above him. Which will be helpful in terms of constructors battle. I think Ferrari might struggle because sometimes they have mechanical issues as well. So I think they'll struggle in this Grand Prix Ferrari, which will be moves to the ears of McLaren in terms of constructors battle. So I think Leclerc will finish 6th, Sainz will finish 7th. I think Ocon will finish 8th. I think he'll get in the points for Alpine. And I think Alonso and Perez will get in the points as well. And I think Oscar Piastri will get the fastest up as well. So I think it'll be interesting. I I think you need to take advantage in the sprint race as well. If you're McLaren and Ferrari, I think they'll be looking to take advantage in the sprint race as well. If either one of them have a bad sprint race, then all of a sudden it's game on, done into Abu Dhabi. It will take the constructors' battle into Abu Dhabi potentially. So, but yeah, that is it for my Las Vegas Grand Prix review and my Qatar Grand Prix preview. Feel free to leave your predictions down below for the Qatar Grand Prix, and feel free to leave your thoughts on this morning's Las Vegas Grand Prix down below in the comments, as we saw Max Verstappen officially crowned 4-time world champion, and it was a weekend, and a weekend belonged to Mercedes, and a weekend belonged to Mercedes as well, as Ferrari slightly closed the gap on McLaren in the constructors. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below.